Hey, what's up, everyone? Kino here, back with another reaction series. So I just started watching Dune Prophecy, the new series that's set in like the Dune cinematic universe. I guess that's what they would call it. With the movies that came out. And I'm gonna say up front that I'm not the biggest Dune fan, or I wouldn't even say I'm a Dune fan at all. I thought the movies were okay. I didn't think they were that great, and I've never really been into like the books or the lore of the series. I know a little bit about it. I've seen some videos and some explanations here and there, but I'm really not a Dune fan per se. I don't hate Dune, but I don't really like it either. So I'm just kind of neutral towards it. That's different from like a Song of Ice and Fire. Like when I do the House of the Dragon videos, like I am a big fan of that lore, a big fan of the books, the whole series in general. And so when I give commentary on that, it's from the perspective of a fan. When I'm gonna do the reaction series to this new show, I'm gonna be giving my reactions as a non-fan, as someone who's like just kind of casually watching and is not really that immersed in the universe. And I think that could be an interesting perspective because a show like this has to cater to both the fans of the books and stuff like that, but also people who maybe all they've seen is the new movies and that's their only knowledge of Dune lore. So it'll be interesting to hear kind of a little bit from my perspective of someone who's like, I don't really know what's going on per se, but I can still kind of comment on how the show functions as just a series on its own. Now, I'm going to say up front, one of the biggest problems that I had with Dune, and I discussed this on my podcast, I'll link that in the description if you guys want to hear a discussion between a Lord of the Rings fan and a Dune fan about the pros and cons of both series. But the biggest problem I had with Dune was that I thought that the ideas of Dune were a lot better than the actual like execution and characters. Like the themes and the ideas that the movie gets at are kind of cool, but the actual moment to moment with the characters is really not that good, in my opinion. And again, I know there's passionate Dune fans out there who love that kind of stuff, but for me, it's like it's more so about the ideas than the actual characters. I didn't really care about any of the characters in the movie. Like I don't really care that much about Paul maybe a little bit, but like Duncan Idaho or the doctor lady or Stilgar or any of these other characters, they don't really feel like fleshed out people to me. They just feel like kind of props on the stage, which again is kind of I think what Dune as a series is going for. It's about like how all the pieces on the board are just kind of leading towards these larger events that no one can really control. But again, I felt like that's kind of a flaw in some cases because a story you really have to kind of be into the characters moment to moment, and that was the biggest weak spot of Dune for me. The Harkonnens are basically cartoonish villains, and I get like, okay, that's kind of the point, right? They don't really have they're like they don't have any control over themselves as opposed to the Atreides who are masters of control over themselves and the universe. I get that dichotomy, but it makes it they make poor villains because I'm like I don't give a shit about them. So I'm really interested in this show what they do with that because this is a prequel. I don't know if this is based on any of the like extended universe books or anything like that, but it feels like this series has more of a license to be a little bit more original and do some stuff that whereas the movies were definitely tied to the book and the source material, this show might have the potential to kind of break away a little bit more and like do their own thing. And so I'm interested to see what they do with the characters because of that. Can they make the characters likable and interesting to me? Or they don't necessarily have to be likable, but like I should care about them and I should be like, oh, I'm interested in these people and I'm interested in watching them every week. Right off the bat, I will say there's a lot of characters on this show, which kind of worries me. I think this is probably like an 8-episode series. I don't know that off the top of my head, but it feels like HBO has been kind of like limiting the number of episodes shows get from now on, and especially expensive CGI heavy shows like this one is. I got to imagine 8 episodes max. And when you only have that little amount of time, you don't want to spread it around across a lot of characters. The Penguin was a great example of this, which just recently came out. Very limited amount of characters, which made the characters all feel like they got um, the right amount of screen time. I still felt like some of them I would have liked to see more of them. Um, so I worry that like, ooh, are we really going to develop all these little sisters who are going through the school, basically the Ben and Gesserit school? Are we really going to develop all these nobility and stuff like that? Are we really going to develop all these characters? I think they'll try their best with a focus on like the Mother Superior, Valia Harkonnen, and it seems like the main antagonist is going to be I don't know the character's name, but it's Ragnar Lothbrok. It's Travis Fimmel, I think his last name is. It's the guy from Vikings. It seems like he's in opposition to the Bene Gesserit. Kind of rightly so, I think. He's like, they're secretly controlling everything, and it's like, yeah, they are secretly controlling everything. Um, and he has this weird power. I don't know anything about how this works. We didn't see anything like that in the movie. We saw the I guess we're seeing the origin of the way they talk, and they like mind control people. But he does this thing where he like burns both this little kid and also one of the sisters on a completely different planet. I don't know how this works. I don't know if this is like a power that he got from Dune, like from Arrakis. It seems like he had some kind of experience with the worm, with the sandworms. Again, complete noob to the lore. I don't know anything about like, oh no, this is the secret power of blah 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 from the books. Like I don't know any of that. So we'll see where they go with that. But again, they're setting up this dichotomy, and this guy is one of the interesting characters. I think the Mother Superior and this guy are really the only two that I kind of were like, oh, okay, I get what you have. Like, you have motivation. A lot of the other ones, I'm like, I don't really know what your motivation is. It seems like the Mother Superior's like biological sister, who is also a Bene Gesserit, seems like she's kind of like in opposition to her sister a little bit. We'll see if they explore that. We've got the Emperor kind of being manipulated. We'll see if he manages to actually be an interesting character. The Emperor in Dune really wasn't, in the movies. I mean, there's the wife, there's this daughter. We barely know anything about them. Which again, that is my fear, that the show really won't develop most of these characters out. But we'll really have to see. But at least it seems like these two characters are going to be the driving force behind this whole thing, which, it sets up a cool dynamic. I saw the little flash forward to the future episodes. Seems that they're going to be fighting. It seems that'll be interesting at least. Overall, though, I'll just say, it was a little bit confusing. They dump a lot of info on you at the very beginning, but I think after a little while, if you watch the whole thing, you can kind of get a sense of what's going on, even if you don't know the Dune lore. It's like the Bene Gesserit have a plan to take over the universe by secretly manipulating stuff, which is exactly what we saw in the movie too. I don't know if the plan to birth I don't remember the fucking name, the Kiswa Hitterich, whatever. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, but the Chosen One, Paul, if that's part of their plan or not, or if their actions here are going to set up the events that are going to lead to that in the future. I don't know any of that stuff, in depth, but seems that they're going to kind of explain how a lot of this stuff got set up. And visually, I thought the aesthetics of the show are very good. I think it mirrored the movies, with understanding that, like, I'm sure they had a much less budget, but they still managed to make it look a lot like the movies too. So I imagine we'll have a lot more interior shots compared to the movies, but that's fine. It's, again, similar to how the Penguin handles the cinematography compared to the Matt Reeves Batman universe. So overall, though, I'll keep watching it. Again, I'm not super invested, but I didn't hate the first episode either. So I'm just I'm a cool neutral right now, and we'll see where it goes from here. But Either way, thanks for listening to this, and stay tuned for more episodes coming soon.